There is a lot of confusion in the market about the difference between newsstand and direct editions. Even major online comic retailers are currently listing comics incorrectly. So in this video, we are going to discuss some major points of them. Let's start. The history of newsstand and direct editions. If we were to jump into a time machine and go back to the late 1970s and early 1980s, we would find fewer comic shops. Until the mid-1980s, most comics were sold in general stores like pharmacies, bookstores, or newsstands. Comic companies would sell comics to general retailers. These retailers would then sell the comics to customers. The problem was that the comic companies didn't really like this model. This is because if the stores didn't sell their comics, they could return their unsold inventory back to the comic companies who were required to buy the issues. This process of refunding unsold comics was tracked through the barcode on these newsstand editions. Stores were frequently required to tear off and submit the cover for reimbursement to ensure that they weren't double-dipping, that is, selling comics and requesting a refund. How to identify newsstand editions? Despite the massive amounts of confusion surrounding this issue, it's actually really easy to identify newsstand editions. They'd, of course, have a barcode, so how can you tell a newsstand edition? Sometimes the UPC self-identifies as a newsstand edition. That's always helpful, but it's also uncommon. The surest way to identify a newsstand edition is to look at the second part of the barcode in the UPC box. Direct editions have 5 numbers and newsstand editions have 2 numbers. Are newsstand editions actually rare? Whether newsstand editions are rare compared to direct editions depends on 2 factors: the year of publication and condition of the comic. Newsstand editions are more common in older comics and much rarer in newer comics. This is because newsstands were printed in fewer quantities as time went on, and the people that stocked and bought them were less likely to take care of them. This means that recent newsstand editions in near-mint condition can be extremely rare. How grading companies treat newsstand editions. One of the biggest misconceptions about newsstand editions is the widespread and persistent belief that grading companies don't distinguish between direct and newsstand editions. This is simply flat-out false. Every major grading company recognizes newsstand editions in some capacity. Comic books published that were sold directly to newsstands would contain a barcode or UPC on the cover of their comic book. If they were sold to a comic book store, that UPC would be replaced with an image, a slogan, or maybe a strike-through, creating the direct edition variant. This allowed publishers to track their sales based on the outlet selling them. Who cares? Does any of this matter? But even if you dislike newsstands, that's not stopping other people from paying a lot more for them, especially in recent printings. Perhaps the best example of this is the first appearance of Miles Morales in Ultimate Fallout 4. A same-day sale of both issues in CGC 9.8 condition resulted in a difference of more than $7,000. Love newsstand editions or hate them? If you have any financial interest in collecting, it's probably best not to ignore them. This was all for today. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for more updates and notifications.